Okay. What makes a good film? Any film that's riveting and has our attention till the very end is a good film. Right? Well, that was the 15-year-old filmmaker in me trying to answer a very important question. And you know what? He wasn't right, but he wasn't completely wrong either. Because isn't that what a good film does? Doesn't it hold your attention till the very end of it? So what exactly is it that makes the film worthy enough to be watched and praised by millions? Is it a complex plot that boggles the heck out of your mind? A wonderful visual spectacle? Big punchlines? Or maybe a good story? If your answer is a good story, you are 100% right. The answer, however, isn't this simple. Because come on, let's be real. I didn't make this 8-minute long video just to give you the answer in the first 60 seconds. If the answer was this simple, everyone would be great filmmakers. The problem is that everyone knows to make a good film, you need to make a good story. But what everyone doesn't know is how to make a good story. So sit back and relax and let's get started. For the purpose of this video, I'm mostly going to be referencing the film Munna Bhai MBBS as an example. If you haven't watched Munna Bhai MBBS, you really shouldn't be watching this video. With that being said, please watch this video and hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks. Anyway, let's see what IMDb has to say about this film. A gangster sets out to fulfill his father's dream of becoming a doctor. I really thought there would be more. Anyway, it's been directed by Rajkumar Hirani, who, if you're unfamiliar with his work, has also directed films like Three Idiots and PK, which are amazing films, by the way. Okay, so the film starts off with a random dude taking a morning walk down the streets of a peaceful Mumbai. The brisk walk quickly turns into a run as he notices an intimidating man with a gun following him. The man rushes towards the nearest taxi and asks him to floor the gas. The taxi driver then leaves him high and dry as he elopes. The walker follows the driver into a room where the facade falls off, and it's revealed that the taxi driver isn't really a taxi driver, but rather our very own titular character, Munna Bhai. Okay, let's pause here. Let's say you were to read this without any context for the first time. Most of you would be impelled to think that it were a gangster film, and things would not go well for the unsuspecting pedestrian. But in reality, when we watch the film, we perceive a completely different vibe from it. We really don't see it as a serious situation, but more as a comical bit. And the comical undertones are substantiated by lines like and actions like. At this point, the audience knows what kind of film it is. There is no ambiguity left as to the tone of this film. Okay, so what happens is that this guy, Ghanshyam, has been kidnapped because he borrowed money from this guy and has supposedly not paid it back. The Taklu then goes ahead to reveal that he did pay it back, but to his brother, and this guy basically says that he doesn't give a f*** and he wants his money back. And this is when we have our first character development dialogue. Munna lets the Taklu go and then proceeds to say this.
अपने बाबूजी कहते हैं, बेईमानी करने का नहीं और सहने का नहीं.
This tells us two things about Munna. One, that he respects his father, and two, that he's ethical and good-natured. Keep this in mind, it's gonna come handy. Okay, so the scene following this, it's revealed that Munna's father is coming to visit him, and that scene is immediately followed by a title montage sequence showing the transformation of his lair into a hospital clinic. All this happens in the first 10 minutes of the film. So wait, Munna's been living a life of lie? Right after he said,
बेईमानी करने का नहीं और सहने का नहीं.
This tells us another two important things about Munna. Not only does he respect his father, but also is scared of him. At this point, we realize that Munna isn't really living by his father's words, but just pretending to live by them. These first 10 minutes is relayed with so much information about our main character and gives him so many layers to begin with. Now that is good writing. The rest of the film is propelled forward by two major turning points. The first being the humiliation that Munna faces at the hands of Dr. Asthana in front of his parents. Munna is called out by Dr. Asthana for not being a real doctor, which comes as a shock to his father. I mean, really dude, you thought this guy was having a heart attack. No wonder you thought your son was a real doctor. Okay, anyway, Munna then basically sees the sadness and the grief and the humility in his father's eyes, which basically impel him to join a medical institute and become a doctor for real. Okay, the next part I'm going to skim through quickly. He joins the medical college after cheating on his entrance exam. At his time in the college, he entertains everyone with his comical antics and dry humor. While the doctors preach about being insensitive and emotionally detached from the patient, Munna preaches the exact opposite. He goes around the college giving everyone a jadoo ki jappi, or English translation, a magical hug. By this point in the film, everyone loves Munna and everyone believes that being good-natured and compassionate can also save people's lives. Then comes the second turning point, when Zahir, a patient diagnosed with cancer, begs for Munna to save him, but Munna is unable to. Because as much as I'd like to believe that you can cure cancer with compassion, it needs a real doctor's attention. This incident that happens really brings perspective into Munna as a character. He begins to understand that even though he might become a doctor by cheating on his exams, he really wouldn't be able to do anything when it came to saving the life of someone he loved. It is for this exact reason that in the end, he decides to admit to cheating and comes clean. It is also at this point that Munna's character completes his arc. He finally starts living by his father's words. He admits that there is really nothing you can do by cheating and dishonesty. As this final scene in Munna's arc plays out, everyone in the audience is rooting for Munna, despite his dishonesty. Everyone wants Munna to win and become a doctor, even if it means cheating in his exam. And that is where this film excels. It not only makes you root for its main character, but also teaches you the right thing to do. And that's what makes a good story. Not grand visuals or punchlines, but good characters. Characters that you root for. When we talk about good stories, we don't talk about incidents. We talk about the people in those incidents. People are what make the story personal. If Titanic was a story about, the Titanic and its sinking, it would have never made $2 billion at the box office. But because it was a story of two young lovers perishing along with it, it made it all the more believable. Because good characters make good stories. That is it for this video, guys. Hope you liked this video. If you didn't, there's a dislike button down there just for you. But if you did like it, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!